Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. How are you guys? So we started in last class, chapter 10. It's about transducers. So we have classified uh, transducers and sensors. Sensors are those devices who have the input and output uh, parameters in electrical form, voltage as the input and voltage as the output. Whereas transducers are the devices in which non-electrical physical quantities like temperature, sound, light, pressure, etc. can be converted into electrical signal. So, therefore, this device is capable of converting any physical quantity, physical parameter into electrical voltage or current or other similar electrical parameter. So basically, transducer have two purpose. One is they can first of all sense the physical quantity, and then they can convert that into electrical quantity. Few sensors they have the same operation in a single component, whereas the other transducers they have uh, two portions. Like one is the sensor, which senses the bigger parameter, converts that bigger parameter into a smaller parameter, and then the smaller parameter is or the output of the sensor is converted into electrical output. So to select a transducer, we have to look at its different parameters like sensitivity, operating range, how accurate is the transducer. In some of the applications, high accuracy is required, whereas in some application, approximate value is also okay. So depending upon the application, we can choose the accuracy. Sometimes we have to choose the transducer according to the cross sensitivity, like it if it is only in one plane, then it should not have any sensitivity for other plane. So if we are measuring the stress, for example, in a horizontal plane, then the pressure in vertical plane should not affect the reading of the transducer. So therefore, cross sensitivity must be smaller and negligible for the transducer. Then transducer must have a small error. Operating principle we can also select according to that, whether it is resistive, inductive, capacitive, optoelectronic, piezoelectric, etc. Then the frequency response of the transducer is also important, so that we have certain characteristic like overshoot, rise time, settling time, and dynamic errors. Similarly, loading effect of transducer should be minimum, and in that case, the high input impedance and low impedance should be present in the transducer, so that the loading effect is minimized. Then transducer itself should be safe as far as environmental or surrounding conditions are concerned. If we are measuring the pressure or temperature, it should not be affected by the humidity of the environment or the temperature of the environment. So it should be safe for that harsh environmental conditions. And it should be insensitive to unwanted signals. So, for example, the electromagnetic interference should not affect the working of the transducer. We can classify the transducers into analog digital transducers, primary secondary transducers, transducers or inverse transducers on basis of principal active and passive transducers. Analog transducers, they convert input signal into output signal, which is continuous function of time. Like we can measure the temperature of using a thermistor without any break. Whereas digital transducers, they convert input signal into output signal of pulsating form or discrete output. And the digital transducers, they are becoming more popular because they can be used for long distance transmission of the transducers signals, whereas in analog transducers, the long distance transmission is becomes lossy, and we can get the noise into that. Then we have primary transducers, like they directly convert the sensed parameter and convert it into electrical. So like a thermistor, it converts the temperature directly into electrical parameter, that is the change in resistance. Secondary transducers, they first convert the input signal into some output, and that output is further converted into electrical one. For example, we have LVDT, which is the linear variable differential, I think, transducer, and it is basically composed of in variable inductor, in which when the pressure is applied, that converts into displacement, and displacement then converts the variable inductance into change in inductance. So therefore, we measure the inductance and detect the value of pressure, not the displacement. Then we have inverse transducers. These are the type of transducers that basically are opposite to the transducer, and they get the electrical quantity as an input and converts that electrical quantity into non-electrical quantity. Like in piezoelectric crystal, if we apply pressure to it, it generates electrical signal. Therefore, it is acting as a transducer. But as form of inverse transducer, we apply voltage to it and it vibrates. Then we can classify also based on the principle. The transducers could be of resistive type, capacitive type, inductive type, and they could also be directly generating voltage and currents. Like piezoelectric, when we apply pressure or vibration to piezoelectric crystal, it generates voltage. And then we can classify transducer to be active, and these active transducers, they are self-generating type transducers. That means they sense the physical quantity, non-electrical quantity, and convert it directly into electrical voltage. Just as I said, gave the example of piezoelectric. Similarly, on the other side, we may have speed or angular velocity, for which we use a tacho generator or tachometer. Basically, upon application of mechanical speed, tacho generator generates voltage at the output directly without applying any, without requiring any external supply. Whereas in passive transducers, we need to apply a voltage because the passive transducers, they although upon application of non-electrical quantity, their resistance or capacitance or any other electrical quantity may change, but to read that change in resistance, we need to apply a small voltage which can detect the change in resistance and result that change in resistance into a change in voltage. Like we've discussed about the pressure sensor. This is MEMS based pressure sensor composed of 4 resistances connected in form of bridge, where 2 terminals they are used for supply, external voltage supply, and other 2 are meant for the positive reading as well as for the negative reading with respect to ground. So upon application of pressure, the resistance is basically in form of membrane. So when pressure is applied, membrane deforms, and that deformation changes the resistance. So therefore, that change of resistance is translated into the voltage, and from voltage we detect the actual pressure. So passive transducers, they are of different types: variable resistance, variable reactance, optoelectronic, Hall effect, and so on. So these are the further types of passive transducers: variable resistance type, reactance type, and capacitance type. So let's start from variable resistor transducers. So as we have seen in chapter 9, we can use the bridge, DC bridge to or AC bridge to detect the frequency independent or frequency dependent signals, and we can measure the resistance by again nullifying the effect of the bridge. And when any mechanical or physical parameter like pressure or force is applied to the resistance, there is a change in voltage, and the change in voltage is then directly reflected into that physical parameter like pressure. So these type of variable resistance transducers, they are inexpensive, they have wide range of applications, they are rigid, reliable, and resistance varies because of the mechanical linkage. So whether the variation in the resistance is because of the displacement or because of the deformation and so on. Like in this case, we can see application of force, and which is reflected by the mechanical linkage, and this mechanical linkage basically varies the resistance. It varies the connection, electrical connection between the additional supply or and the electrical connection between the coil or resistance. So upon application of mechanical linear force, there could be displacement, and that displacement would result in variable output voltage. So that variable output voltage would be resulting in the variation will actually help us out uh, to find the mechanical force by measuring the displacement directly. So as you can see that we have a very simple voltage divider circuit. So in this R1 and divided by R1 plus R2 results in the ratio, resistive divider ratio, which is basically equivalent to the distance or displacement, total displacement. X is the displacement, and whereas L indicates the total length in which the mechanical displacement lever can be changed, or pointer can be changed or moved. So if the ratio is changed, therefore the ratio between the distance displacement is changed, and we have changed the voltage. So therefore from it we can find out the displacement and find out the mechanical force. Similarly, we may have temperature sensors, or also known as thermal sensors. So these thermal sensors are also based on the resistance, variation in resistance, like resistance temperature detector, RTDs, very famous. They are widely used in industry to detect the temperature, although their temperature ranges are very small compared to other ones. Then we have thermistor, which is basically a solid state type of device, which also result in variation of resistance upon application of temperature. Then we have thermocouple. It's basically combination of different metals, and because of the different metals characteristic, the thermocouple generates voltage upon application of temperature. So this is the how the resistance temperature RTD looks like. So because you can see that the casing is very solid, it is of metal, and basically the RTD is secured in the metallic tube, so that it is kept safe, and it can be measuring or working for a long duration. So metal resistance versus temperature, if we look at the parameter, then we can use different types of metallic casings, and all these casings they affect the their slope is different as compared to the nickel and platinum. They have different slopes with respect to temperature. Their resistance varies according to that slope. So these type of RTDs, they are sensitive. They can detect the temperature, small range temperature. They can be used for quite a wide range of temperature. They have repeatability. That means if we measure the same temperature again and again, it would result in the same amount of resistance. So that is the repeatability. Then we have the response time. When we apply a temperature, the change in resistance occur in very short period of time. Therefore, the response of the transducer is quite good. Its construction is quite simple, and then we can provide a signal conditioning so that we can detect the actual temperature without any error, and the temperature coefficient is positive. That means if the temperature rises, the resistance rises as well. So rise in temperature results rise in resistance. So therefore the temperature coefficient is positive. This is the construction of RTD. So we have for safety, we are using protecting tube, whereas the sensing element is included inside or placed inside the tube, because that sensing element is very sensitive to the environmental condition, and therefore the protecting tube is required to keep the sensing element safe and non-affected by the environmental condition. Then we have fitting, so that we can fit the RTD into some mechanical body or mechanical some reservoir where some liquid or some gas or any other is heated, and that temperature is sensed by the RTD. And then we have connection head, because the device is going to be plugged into a hot environment. So therefore it requires a solid connection head, so that the electrical connections are not affected by the temperature. So these are the basic requirements for a sensor, so that it is kept safe. So in RTD, basically we are going to detect the voltage, output voltage, and for this we need to have a constant current source. We have already discussed how to generate a constant current source, and that constant current source could be connected in series with the RTD, and therefore the voltage we can measure across the RTD, and then detect the temperature. We can detect the resistance and directly detect the temperature. So the temperature change that affects the resistance can be calculated by this formula. So R with respect to the temperature is basically combination of resistance at the standard temperature which is basically at room temperature, 25 degrees Celsius. That is the standard resistance, and then based on the temperature variation, we can take its difference with respect to the standard temperature reference, which is basically 25 degrees. So higher than that 25 degrees Celsius, and then we can get the change in resistance. Here you can also see the alpha, which is basically the temperature coefficient, which indicates the variation of resistance per degree. So how much resistance is changed when 1 degree change in temperature is applied. So if the temperature rises by 1 degree, how much change in resistance appears, that is meant by the temperature coefficient per degree. Okay. So now we have RTD, and although we know that RTD is quite sensitive device, but to detect even smaller variations, we can use signal conditioning. So what is signal conditioning? Basically, we use a differential amplifier to basically detect the smaller variations. As I have shown earlier, that we have again a resistive bridge. So RTD is also part of that resistance bridge, and upon the application of temperature, the RTD, its resistance is changed, and therefore we detect the change in resistance, and that is reflected by the change in voltage. So we detect the output voltage variation, how much variation is there on the both sides. We take the difference of this. So let's suppose this is V1 and this is V2. So we take the difference of V1 and V2, and then we read the output voltage. So this differential amplifier can be used to apply or to set a high gain, so that a smaller variation in V1 and V2 is properly detected by the output sensor or the measurement block. So then we have a dissipation constant for RTD. So that means the power required by the RTD itself to raise the temperature by 1 degree. That means when we apply a power supply, because in this we have a power supply, so power supply would heat up the RTD, and so that is the RTD has two sources for heat up. One is the actual heat it gets, heat or temperature, which actually we want to measure. and then because of the I square R, there is also some temperature produced. So that is called dissipation constant. So in RTD, obviously because that is connected with the power supply, so it requires some power, although that power is very small with respect to 1 degree, but it is there, and we have to calculate the required power. And we have to keep that in mind also, that we are going to lose that much power continuously if we are continuously measuring the temperature. So like to rise one temperature 1 degree Celsius in RTD, we need 25 milliwatts power. So this dissipation constant shows that if I square R power loss is equal to 25 milliwatts, then RTD will be heated by 1 degree. Okay? And this 1 degree is basically would result in error in actual calculation of the temperature. Okay? So if let's say we are we have to measure the temperature 100 degrees Celsius, and there is some power loss because of the external power supply in RTD, and that power loss is 25 milliwatts. So therefore it is going to heat up the RTD by 1 degree. So therefore the reading will be modified to 101. So therefore there is a chance of error because of this power dissipation. Sorry, 101. So therefore we have to neglect this effect by subtracting the change because of the dissipation constant. Okay? So actual value हमें find out करने के लिए we have to subtract how much power is going to be utilized by RTD and how much temperature is rise in RTD because of that power dissipation, and we'll subtract from the reading. This is the actual one, and this is the measured one. So for measured one, we need to know how much power is being wasted in the RTD, and therefore from this dissipation constant we will find out whether the temperature is 1 degree Celsius or 2 degrees, depending upon the power loss in the RTD. And therefore to get the actual value, we have to take the difference between the measured value and the temperature affected by the power dissipation of RTD. So this is the head of RTD whose part number is ATOPT10100 RTD, and this is the head of that, and you can see that we have very solid connections in which we need to screw the connections with the sensor and the wires, which are basically taking this parameter into a long distance, maybe a short distance, but the connection should be very solid. There should not be any loose connection. Although the current that is being utilized is in very small order, it's maybe microamperes, but still that can the loose connection could result in a spark. And because this RTD is going to be placed in industrial environment where there could be fumes, flammable fumes or gases, so therefore the head should be secure enough that, or airtight enough that there is no gas or fume going into the electrical connection. So safety concern is very important, and depending upon that safety concern, we have to design the transducer, the housing of that transducer in such a way that it is not a risk for the environment, for the industry. Then secondly, we have thermistor, and thermistor is basically of a semiconductor type, and it is called NTC, negative temperature coefficient, whereas the RTD we have seen as PTC, positive temperature coefficient. That means when the temperature rises in RTD, the temperature rise results in rise in resistance, whereas for thermistor it is opposite. So when temperature is going up, the resistance of thermistor is going down, and it is not going down linearly. There is a non-linear curve exists in the decay. So therefore we have to be very careful in converting the resistance back into temperature. So as I said, the thermistor is going to be a semiconductor thermistor. So this is a resistor based on the semiconductor, and when the semiconductor is heated, its resistance goes down. Why? Because upon semiconductor, as you know, it's basically is based on some silicon material. I will show you, I think, if we have materials or not. No. Okay. So semiconductor, they are basically of silicon based materials. So therefore when we heat up silicon, and we know that its bonds, they are very strong, and upon increasing the temperature, the bonds, they get weaker, and therefore the electrons start they start their number which is capable of conducting, they starts. So therefore the conduction goes up with the temperature, and the resistance goes down as we heat up the semiconductor device. So thermistor are also used in wide range, and they use inrush current limiter also. So when the current is going high, the resistance of the thermistor limits that rising current. So and therefore the regulation is also automatic because of the silicon material. So upon increasing the temperature, it is not affected by the temperature. So this is how a thermistor looks like. Again, we have protecting housing which protects the thermistor. So thermistor is inside the metallic tube so that it can be used for a longer duration, and then the wire electrical connection is there to measure the change in resistance when there is resistance, when there is temperature on the other side. So this is a typical resistance versus temperature curve, and depending upon the certain temperature, we can find out the resistance. So they are also sensitive. They have wide range. They have good repeatability. Their response time is good. Construction is quite simple. They also need signal conditioning because for a very small variations, they may not be sensitive enough to detect that small variation. So therefore, signal conditioning is required, and then they have dissipation constant. So they also consume power, and because of that dissipation constant, there is a power loss. So this is how the thermistor looks like in physical world. So signal conditioning or could be done through voltage divider circuit or bridge circuit. So both options are available. So we can use as the thermistor as a voltage divider. So like we have resistance of this RTD. With respect to another fixed resistor. So there should be a total resistance, and then we can detect the voltage output across this thermistor. Whatever the resistance would be changing upon application of temperature. As you know, at lower temperature, the resistance is high. So therefore, when we apply temperature, the resistance is going to drop. So therefore, the voltage across it is going to change, and by measuring that change, we can detect the temperature. Similarly, we can use the bridge circuit, just as we said, in form of RTD. We can again use this bridge circuit. We can apply external power on it, and we can detect the V1 and V2. So here can be this thermistor, and upon variation in V1 and V2, we can detect that and measure the temperature. Then we may have thermocouple type temperature sensor or transducer, and in that you can see that we have different types of metal connected together, and the hot end side is heated where or placed in hot environment, and the cold side is going to give us some voltages. So this effect is known as Seebeck effect, and the higher temperature results in higher voltage on the cold side. So this is how we can get metal A. Then we may have a metal B, and when it is heated up or placed in hot environment, then there is a current flow in the metal, and the cold side is going to be the other side is going to get cooler. And if we if we open the cool side and measure the voltage across that, we will get the approximate idea of temperature on the hot side. So this is how we can use a thermocouple to measure the temperature. So and in this case we may have different types of metals, and each metal combination gives us a different measurement sensitivity and operating temperature range, and also some inaccuracy. So for case of copper Konstantin thermocouple, the measurement sensitivity is 43 microvolts per degree. So within that 1 degree, the temperature change, if that is within 43 micro, higher than I think higher than 43 microvolts, then it can detect the temperature. But if the voltage is less than 43 microvolts, and even we have heated by 1 degree, then the sensitivity, then the thermocouple is not going to get the get that change. फिर वो डिटेक्ट नहीं कर पाएगा अगर पर डिग्री जो है इस वोल्टेज को कम कर. So अब इसके अंदर क्या है, we have copper material, so we are using a copper wire, and on the other side we have constant 10. This is a type of metal. So this metallic wire is different from the copper material, and we have one junction which is placed in the hot environment, and then we have another one junction between copper and Konstantin, and it is for the cold junction. And then we have the voltage difference taken between the copper and copper metals, so that there is no voltage drop or voltage difference because of the cold side of where we want to measure it. Okay, so now we can find out the voltage drop across this copper to copper metal connection, and that is going to be the difference between the hot junction voltage or temperature and cold junction voltage or temperature. So how we can find the hot side voltage? We are going to open the junction which is placed in the hot environment and then measure the voltage. And because that is not possible, so we are going to approximate to that voltage V hot by detecting the temperature over there, and that is going to be like this. So K1 is the material constant for one type of material, and then we have K2 for other type of material. And then we basically take the difference between the temperature of hot side and cold side, and this change in temperature multiplied by the K1 gives us the EMF voltage on the copper side. Similarly, second is the non-linear term, which also gets modified by the constant material for the constant time material. So the benefit of this thermocouple is that it is inexpensive as compared to thermistor and RTD. It is reliable, it has wide range, but the problem is its output voltage is very low, and therefore we need a signal conditioning. Then it is less sensitive, as I said, that if there is a smaller voltage change, 20 microvolts per degree change is there, then thermocouple cannot detect that. And it is non-linear, and its electrical connection, they are also tricky, because we are talking about the temperature, and temperature is going to be directly affected by the cold side where we are measuring the voltage. Okay, so therefore the thermocouples, they are constructed like this. So thermocouple is or the hot and cold metal, they are embedded in the metallic tube, and you can see that the connections, they are even better than the RTD. They are even stronger. They along with the connections, they also have screws on it, so that there is no disconnection or no loose.
स्लाइड दिखाया सर?
जी
प्रीवियस स्लाइड दिखाया सर?
जी
सर हम इसकी किस चीज़ के साथ कंपेयर करें?
क्या क्या कह रहे हैं?
थर्मोकपल का किस चीज़ के साथ हम कंपेरिजन कर रहे हैं?
कंपैरिजन हम कर रहे हैं विद रिस्पेक्ट टू जो अभी हमने पहले देखे हैं थर्मिस्टर्स, उनके विद रिस्पेक्ट अगर देखा जाए तो थर्मोकपल में प्रॉब्लम जो आती है वो ये कि इसकी आउटपुट वोल्टेज बहुत लो है, और ये उतना सेंसिटिव नहीं है जितना कि आपका थर्मिस्टर और RTD है, वो ज़्यादा सेंसिटिव है। ठीक है। सिमिलरली इसका जो कर्व है जैसे कि थर्मिस्टर का है, ये भी नॉन लीनियर कर्व है इसका, यानी कि टेम्परेचर विद रिस्पेक्ट टू रेजिस्टेंस और रेजिस्टेंस विद रिस्पेक्ट टू टेम्परेचर जो चेंज आएगा, दैट इज नॉन लीनियर। ठीक है।
यस।
चलो ओके। सो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं कि हमारा विद रिस्पेक्ट टू, अगर हम आरटीडी को देखें तो आरटीडी के विद रिस्पेक्ट यहाँ पे आप देखें कि इसके जो कनेक्शंस हैं दे आर वेरी सॉलिड कनेक्शन, इवन उनकी जो रिक्वायरमेंट है इवन हायर है, एंड दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ दी ट्रिकीनेस। और इसमें जो हीट इन्वॉल्व है वो डायरेक्टली इफेक्ट होगी इनके कनेक्शन के ऊपर। ठीक है जी, दीज आर दी थर्मोकपल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक कर्व्स डिपेंडिंग अपॉन डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ मटेरियल। सो जैसे कि आरटीडी में हमने देखा कि वहाँ पे जो बेस्ड ऑन द मटेरियल जो डिफरेंस था, जो स्लोप जो थे वो चेंज हो रहे थे, वही इसी तरह से यहाँ पे भी जो डिफरेंट मेटल्स हैं उनके रिजल्ट विद रिस्पेक्ट टू टेम्परेचर जो है वो डिफरेंट है। ठीक है, तो इसमें अब आप देख सकते हैं कि जो मटेरियल कॉम्बिनेशन है, तो यहाँ पे दो मेटल्स हमने यूज करनी है, तो मटेरियल चेंज करने से जो टेम्परेचर रेंज है वो अच्छी खासी चेंज हो जाती है। ठीक है, सो दैट इज, और इनके आप ये देख सकते हैं कि जो टाइप्स हैं जे टी के, अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट जे के एस, आपका जो टेम्परेचर विद रिस्पेक्ट टू जो आउटपुट वोल्टेज है उसका स्लोप बिल्कुल डिफरेंट है। ठीक है, दीज आर दी अदर टेबल फॉर जस्ट ओनली दी जे टाइप मटेरियल। इसमें जो वोल्टेजेस ड्रॉप हैं विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दी जंक्शन टेम्परेचर। ठीक है, रेफरेंस जंक्शन टेम्परेचर वो चेंज अगर हो जाता है तो फिर आप देखेंगे किस तरह से हम जो आउटपुट वोल्टेज है वो चेंज हो सकता है। Okay, so how we can take that चाहे वो RTD हो, थर्मिस्टर हो या थर्मोकपल हो, हमने उसको लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस, बिकॉज दीज आर ऑल एनालॉग टाइप ट्रांसड्यूसर्स। ठीक है, तो इनको अगर हमने लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस के ऊपर लेके जाना है तो वो नॉइज को हम किस तरह से रिड्यूस करेंगे। सो दिस डायग्राम बेसिकली tells us about that noise reduction। ठीक है, सो नॉइज रिडक्शन के लिए जो कनेक्शन केबल हम यूज करेंगे दैट हैज सर्टेन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक कि इसकी जो वायर्स हैं वो आपस में ये ट्विस्टेड होंगी ताकि हम किसी किस्म का भी जो EMI है वो इसके ऊपर अफेक्ट ना हो, और उसके बाद फिर फर्दर इसको EMI से रोकने के लिए आउटसाइड जो है वो ग्राउंडेड फॉइल भी रैप्ड होगी। ठीक है, तो ये जो ग्राउंडेड फॉइल जो रैप की हुई है इसको हमने ग्राउंड करना है, एंड देन वी यूज दिस ट्विस्टेड एक्सटेंशन वायर्स अलोंग विद द डिफरेंशियल एम्पलीफायर। ठीक है, जिस तरह से हमने पहले कहा कि लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस पे होगा तो इसका जो वायर्स का जो वोल्टेज ड्रॉप है दैट कैन बी अफेक्ट द रीडिंग्स, और क्योंकि वोल्टेज पहले ही मिली वोल्ट्स और माइक्रो वोल्ट्स में है, so therefore to increase the sensitivity of the measurement we can use differential amplifier having some certain gain। ठीक है, इसमें हम गेन अप्लाई करके तो क्लास के बाद okay. So we will be using a differential amplifier with a high gain so that we can increase the sensitivity of the measurement। So this is again the reference compensation. Basically,
लास्ट स्लाइड तो दोबारा आप एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं सर, नॉइस रिडक्शन का?
नॉइज रिडक्शन, ओके, नॉइज रिडक्शन के लिए बेसिकली पर्पस क्या है? पर्पस इज टू टेक द मेजरमेंट एट अ डिस्टेंस, ठीक है? डिस्टेंस शॉर्ट भी हो सकता है, लॉन्ग भी हो सकता है। सो टू इंक्रीज दैट लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस, हम जो केबल यूज करेंगे दैट इज क्वाइट स्पेशल केबल, ठीक है, जिसके अंदर हम जो वायर्स यूज कर रहे हैं दे आर बेसिकली ऑफ ट्विस्टेड टाइप, ठीक है। और इसको फिर हम फॉइल से रैप भी करेंगे ताकि जो इन्वायरमेंटल इफेक्ट्स हैं, इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक इंटरफेरेंस, वो इसके ऊपर जो है वो अफेक्ट ना करे। और फिर जो फॉइल होगी इसको हम ग्राउंड कर देंगे ताकि इसके अंदर ड्यू टू EMI जो भी वोल्टेज और करंट इंड्यूस हो रहे हैं वो ग्राउंड हो रहे हैं, ठीक है। और सिर्फ हमारे पास जो वोल्टेज वेरिएशन है विच इज वी आर टेकिंग फ्रॉम द ट्रांसड्यूसर, only that is present and therefore no noise is included in the readings, ठीक है। तो फिर हमारी रीडिंग जो है वो नॉइज प्रूफ होगी। और फर्दर ये होगा कि टू इंक्रीज द सेंसिटिविटी वी कैन यूज अ डिफरेंशियल एम्पलीफायर विद सम हाई गेन। Okay, so basically this slide tells us about the temperature. जो टेम्परेचर जो है वो हम यहाँ पे मेजर कर रहे हैं, this is hot side and this is cold side, ठीक है। सो कोल्ड साइड के ऊपर जो है वो हम वोल्टेज मेजर कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। सो therefore to detect, to basically increase, to reduce the effect of the cold side temperature. Remember हमने पीछे फॉर्मूले के अंदर देखा था कि हमारे पास जो है वो कोल्ड साइड का जो टेम्परेचर है दैट इज आल्सो अफेक्टिंग दी रीडिंग, ठीक है। सो बेसिकली वी आल्सो नीड अनदर temperature sensor or transducer which can measure the temperature of the cold side as well. Not only the hot side is important, we are also required to measure the temperature on the cold side, ठीक है। सो कोल्ड साइड के ऊपर हम दोबारा से जो है वो टेम्परेचर सेंस करें एंड देन वी इंक्लूड दैट कोल्ड साइड टेम्परेचर, ठीक है। और फिर हम इसको कंपनसेट करें विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दी डिफरेंशियल डिफरेंशियल एम्पलीफायर, ठीक है। इसको हम आउटपुट के साथ प्लस करेंगे या माइनस करेंगे एंड देन वी टेक द वोल्टेज एट दी आउटपुट, ठीक है। समझ आई बात? तो यहाँ पे जो हमने ये वाला फॉर्मूला लिखा था, बेसिकली इस चीज को हमने इम्प्लीमेंट करना है एंड दैट हैज हॉट साइड एंड द कोल्ड साइड, ठीक है। सो दैट कैन बी डन बाय अप्लाइंग one thermocouple that is connected on the hot environment, and then the other side which is the cold side of the thermocouple, there we also should apply a temperature sensor so that we can also include the cold side temperature in calculation so that we can compensate the effect of cold side. Okay, therefore thermocouple का जो usage है that makes the system even more complicated as compared to thermistor and RTD. Okay, but why we are taking pain in doing this कि हम temperature compensate भी कर रहे हैं और signal conditioning भी separate लगा रहे हैं, that is because of the low cost of the thermocouple. Okay, because thermocouple is the lowest in terms of cost. Therefore, when we use or make a low cost system, तो उसके अंदर हमें signal conditioning जो है वो ज़्यादा करनी पड़ती है, but it makes the system as inexpensive as compared to thermistor or RTD. So this is basically the example how we can get the temperature from hot side, and this is from the cold side. This is the hot side. This is cold side. Okay, so so on the cold side we also apply a thermistor. So this is again another temperature sensor. Which we are using and getting this much voltage change out of the thermistor. So you can see it is more sensitive and it can better read the cold side temperature. Okay, and then we have the gain on the other side. So the gain is like this. So V out is going to be 320 kilo ohms divided by 2 kilo ohms. Okay, V plus and V minus. The difference between V plus and V minus. So this is the I would say VO1. Then because we have another thermistor, so for this we again use another differential gain, differential amplifier gain to have the overall effect and minimized effect of the thermistor. So VO1 basically, so let me, so basically VO overall output voltage is going to be the gain 11.59 divided by 10 K into the voltage VO1 minus VTR. or we can take it opposite, I think. So this is how we are going to get the output voltage. ठीक है, so इस तरह से ये वाला जो this portion है, this is all the signal conditioning for that is required for the thermocouple. ठीक है जी, सो ये वाली जो एग्जांपल है इसको हम थोड़ा सा और एलैबोरेट करेंगे इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास।
सर ये ऊपर आपने जो इक्वेशन लिखे है v नॉट 1 इज इक्वल टू 3.2 k डिवाइडेड बाय 2k, ये ब्रैकेट में आपने क्या लिखे साथ में?
दोबारा बोलिए
सर ये जो फर्स्ट इक्वेशन आपने लिखा है
जी,
उसमें ब्रैकेट में आपने क्या लिखा है? v प्लस माइनस ये v प्लस ये vt,
ये v माइनस
यस सर।
ये वाली जो वोल्टेज है दैट इज v प्लस और ये है v माइनस। ठीक है, फिर यही वाली जो वोल्टेज है वो फिर यहाँ पे अपीयर हो रही है, यहाँ पे अपीयर हो रही है। ठीक है, तो इसका जो डिफरेंस है दैट इज अगेन एम्पलीफाइड बाय द गेन 11.59 डिवाइडेड बाय 10k। ठीक है जी,
यस सर। और सर ये लास्ट इक्वेशन में आपने जो ब्रैकेट में लिखे है वो क्या है सर?
जरा ऊंचा बोलिएगा।
ये v नॉट वाली इक्वेशन में जो ब्रैकेट में आपने लिखे हैं।
जी जी, इसमें बेसिकली अगेन हम जो पॉजिटिव साइड है और जो नेगेटिव साइड वोल्टेज है, ठीक है, इसका डिफरेंस ले लेंगे और उसको हम मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे अगेन द गेन which is 11.59 divided by 10k। ठीक है, तो एक तरफ से हमें वोल्टेज जो है वो मिल रहा है थर्मिस्टर की तरफ से और एक तरफ से हमें वोल्टेज मिल रहा है जो कि बेसिकली थर्मोकपल का है। तो हम इन दोनों टेम्परेचर्स का डिफरेंस लेके, तो बेसिकली व्हाट वी आर इम्प्लाइंग इज ये वाली जो इक्वेशन है हम इसको इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं, यानी कि जो हमारा टेम्परेचर है हॉट साइड का और जो कोल्ड साइड का टेम्परेचर है, इन दोनों का हम डिफरेंस ले रहे हैं। ठीक है, बेसिकली वी आर टेकिंग द वोल्टेज डिफरेंस ऑफ हॉट साइड एंड द कोल्ड साइड। ठीक है, और फिर जो एक्चुअल होना चाहिए वोल्टेज ये हमारे पास आ रहा है। समझ आ गई?
यस
ठीक है, यानी कि मैं आपको यूं कह दूं कि ये वाली जो हॉट साइड है इसकी वजह से जो यहाँ पे वोल्टेज आ रहा है दैट इज वी हॉट। ठीक है, और फिर ये जो कोल्ड जंक्शन है इसकी वजह से भी यहाँ पे एक वोल्टेज आ रहा है। ठीक है, तो इन दोनों का जो सम जो डिफरेंस होगा दैट इज द एक्चुअल वोल्टेज जो कि यहाँ अपीयर होना चाहिए।
यस
ठीक है, तो वो हम इस तरह से कर रहे हैं और उसके लिए हम ये कॉन्फ़िगरेशन जो है ये इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं कि पहले हम हॉट साइड का टेम्परेचर ले रहे हैं और जो कोल्ड साइड का जो टेम्परेचर है दैट इज विद द हेल्प ऑफ थर्मिस्टर। ठीक है, और फिर हम उसको डिफरेंशियल एम्पलीफायर से हॉट साइड का, यानी कि ये जो बेसिकली VO1 है, दिस इज V hot, and this VTR जो यहाँ से वोल्टेज आ रहा है, दिस इज बेसिकली V cold। ठीक है, तो हम बेसिकली यहाँ पे जो देख रहे हैं, ये जो डिफरेंस है हमारा, दैट इज V hot माइनस V cold। ठीक है, तो उसको हम फर्दर हाईलाइट कर रहे हैं ताकि उसकी जो सेंसिटिविटी है वो हम उसको बढ़ा सकें, ताकि हम उसके स्मॉलर वेरिएशंस को भी रीड कर सकें। जी, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? चल, इफ नो क्वेश्चन तो फिर हम यहाँ पे स्टॉप करते हैं। ठीक है, ये एग्जांपल जो है वो हम नेक्स्ट क्लास में इसके ऊपर फर्दर डिस्कशन करेंगे, एंड देन वी कंटिन्यू। जी प्लीज।
सर ये जो आपने टीम्स की फाइल वाले फोल्डर में सर आप अपलोड करते हैं ना सर स्लाइड्स वगैरह,
जी जी,
सर ये अगर आप डायोड वाली और डीसी कन्वर्टर वाली काइंडली अगर दोबारा अपलोड कर दें, क्योंकि सर किसी ने उसको ओपन करके ना अंदर से उसकी फाइल्स सारी डिलीट कर दी है सर, वो हमें शो ही नहीं हो रहा कुछ भी।
अच्छा 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 अच्छा। ठीक है, मैं दोबारा अपलोड कर देता हूँ। नो,
थैंक यू सर।
वैसे उसमें होना तो रीड ओनली चाहिए, लेकिन आई डोंट नो व्हाई।
सर मतलब सर क्लास में से ही कोई है सर जिसने मतलब ऐसे कर दिया है, मतलब डिलीट वगैरह कर दिया सर।
ठीक है, मैं यूं करता हूँ, मैं LMS पे भी अपलोड कर देता हूँ।
ठीक हो गया सर, ठीक हो गया,
ठीक है ना, वहाँ तो कोई चेंज नहीं कर सकेगा।
वो नहीं कर सकता सर, ठीक हो गया
जी
सर, थैंक यू।
ठीक, मैं दोबारा इधर टीम्स पे भी कर दूंगा और LMS पे भी कर दूंगा।
ठीक है सर।
चलिए, बस अटेंडेंस डाउनलोड कर लूँ।